Thanks, Dan. I'm joined now by Dr. Rafi Ravini. He's a professor at Indiana University School of Public and Environmental Affairs. I want to start just by talking to you about the military system in the U.S., really a system based on volunteers. And just wondering, in your opinion, is that a sustainable model as we're looking towards the future here?
The short answer and the long answer is no. If the country would like to fight wars abroad, and would like to fight long wars of the type that we are fighting in Afghanistan and Iraq, we need to think carefully about the possibility of returning to compulsory service. Right now, the burden of fighting these very long wars is falling disproportionately on a small number of people that are doing repeating tours time and again, where the rest of us are here in the United States. We support them. We think they are doing a great thing. We give them the financial resources and the equipment needed. But in the end of the day, they are the ones that are putting their life on the ballot. And such a system is not sustainable if this is indeed the course of international affairs that the country would like to take.
By that, you mean if it's the course we want to take in terms of continuing to fight these wars overseas in Iraq and Afghanistan.
Right. Right now, it seems to me that there is a perception in the country that the role of the United States in the world is to serve as some sort of a policeman. If you look historically, since 1945, we have been involved in most of the wars that have taken place, the large wars definitely. And this reflects a position by which the world stage is our backyard, and we are doing good, and we're fighting for good ideas, and therefore it gives us the right to intervene in the affairs of other countries. I have my own opinions about this point of view, and we can talk about that this time or another time, but taking that as a given and assuming that the democratic process in this country works such that we elect leaders that represent us, and this is what we want to do as a country, then we should all chip in and fight the war. I mean, look at the state of Israel, for example, where I'm from. There is compulsory service. Everyone goes to serve in the military from age 18 to 21, and women serve from age 18 to 20. And then if people would like to make a career out of it and serve in the army or the military force or the Navy or the Air Force, that's fine. Then it becomes to be an army of volunteers. But it has to be a sense of a community, not a situation where at least some people are joining the military force because, for lack of a better word, economic reasons.
You bring up an interesting point, and I'm a bit curious about your response to this, but are Hoosiers who've normally been very supportive of war, have you seen that sort of waning as these wars in Iraq and Afghanistan have continued, even though our roles may have shifted?
I don't have hard data to support what I'm going to say. I talk based on anecdotes and discussions that I have with my colleagues, my neighbors, people that I know from other cities in the state. And there are definitely second thoughts in some circles of whether this is a course of action that we as a country would like to take for the long run. When we went for the war in Iraq, we went under one title, fighting for one idea. Then it turned out to be that the idea that we fought for was not well supported by the evidence, and now we are there in the name of another idea. We were told that the war was over very quickly, but in fact the war was not over. And even now, when we declare that the war is done, and the president says it's done, people are still dying there on a daily basis. So it seems that these wars are very, very long, and people are, from what I know and hear from friends and neighbors, there is a fair amount of frustration.
And the fact we still have a presence there. But Dr. Ravini, that's all the time we have. Thank you so much. Back to you, Stan.
Thanks, Sarah. I wanted to ask each of you to do a quick cost-benefit analysis of sorts of how the war affects folks here in South Central Indiana. What costs are people paying around here, and what benefit is this part of this state getting from these overseas conflicts? Dr. Shahrani, we'll start with you on that.
I think I would like to broaden that cost to the fact that America and Indiana, as part of this great state, country, had promised something for those people where we're fighting for them. That's both in Iraq and Afghanistan, particularly in Afghanistan, that we're going to install a democratic government. And the people of that part of the world counted on this, this promise was going to be fulfilled. And what we have done in the process is put a government in place that has done a great deal of disservice. And in the long run, we have lost credibility. We have lost the kind of hope that people had of America and expectation that they had of America. And when we go to places where we fight wars and make promises to the people and we do not deliver what we've promised, it costs us dearly in terms of our national standing in the world and also here in the country. And that's, I think, really the worst cost perhaps we have faced in this particular instance in the war.
Lieutenant Colonel White, an accurate assessment from the military's point of view and from your personal point of view as part of the military?
Well, there's no doubt that you can never get back the years that a deployed father or mother loses when they're not with their families. When a reservist is called to active duty, each deployment takes a year and a half time away from your family and your civilian work and the productivity you could provide in your community. However, in many cases, it helps you build a career and you become a better person. In my case, I see the world from a different perspective, and I'm hoping that I can pass this along to my family and to the people that I work with here in my daily life as well. And I think we might also say that in a conflict like this, our reserve forces have become stronger and broader and have strengthened themselves through the constant training that it's taken to do this. And I would also say that in our part of the state, we've seen benefits economically from various Crane Naval Weapons Center, for example, has a higher level of contracts, and economically it's been good for the people that depend on this type of industry.
Dr. Findler, the last 90 seconds are yours. Cost-benefit analysis of the wars overseas?
Well, I think in terms of the benefits for the state of Indiana, I think it's very important to emphasize how Indiana has answered the call from the United States to be a part of the effort in fighting these conflicts in Iraq and Afghanistan. The Indiana National Guard and the members like Kirk White have really responded to that. I think also Indiana has become a leader with regards to training for these new types of conflicts, and that involves both Crane Naval Center as well as Camp Atterbury and the Muscatatuck Center for Complex Operations. So Indiana now is known nationally as well as internationally as being an important resource for our national security. I think the main cost going forward is what happens with the conflict. These are assets and capabilities and reputations that have been built, but we don't know what the end game yet is in Afghanistan. So in terms of assessing the costs for South Central Indiana and the people that have sacrificed, some of their personal lives, if not their actual lives, for the conflict, I think that's the part that we still do not have answered yet, and that's really what a lot of people are going to be waiting for to see what happens.
Well, my thanks to all of you. Unfortunately, we've run out of time, but thanks for your thoughts and your consideration this evening. We appreciate you all being here. Thanks also to all of you for watching and listening this evening. We appreciate your support. Thanks to my co-host, Sarah Whitmire, for her help this evening. Thanks, Sarah.
Thanks, Dan.
Please do send your questions for our next InFocus to infocus@indiana.edu. You may also leave a comment or see portions of this show by visiting our website, which is indianapublicmedia.org/infocus. And on our next program, we'll talk about the increasing elderly population and how wellness can assist in living longer. Have a good night.
Production support for InFocus is provided by Smithville, a locally owned business serving central and southern Indiana since 1922 with residential and business internet, voice, and security services. Smithville, local pride, global technology. Information at smithville.net. Hoosier Energy, providing electricity for central and southern Indiana electric cooperatives and their member customers. Information at hepn.com. And by viewers like you. Thank you.